There's a lot of videos that I've seen online, and a lot of really good ones, some from some even famous people, but there's a lot of missing information in a lot of those videos, and what I've learned over the last 9 months is that this is a very unique problem and a very unique healing experience. And so I wanted to share some of my stories so that they could be of some help to others that are, about to go through the process or considering whether to even have the surgery done. Okay, my story began about 5 years ago, where I was first diagnosed with having a vestibular schwannoma, brain tumor, which was causing some hearing loss on my right side. It started slowly at first, and it was asymmetrical hearing loss, as they say, meaning on one side. Having had a lot of experience with loud noises in my youth, was not super surprised by this. And I'm also getting to that age where when you start losing your hearing, you kind of go into the, oh, I'm just getting older frame of mind. After a while, it couldn't really be ignored anymore. And so I went and I had it checked. And what we found out from having the MRI was that I had the tumor, and it was affecting my hearing on the right side. For most of the people that have this diagnosed, the first step is a wait and see period, where you watch it and you have another MRI in 6 months or a year or so. And so I took the advice that I was given, and I had the MRI, or was going to have the MRI done on a yearly basis. But it wasn't really affecting me. It seemed like the hearing loss had plateaued and everything was fine. It wasn't getting bigger, it wasn't causing problems. And after a while, you kind of move on with your life and you get used to the new normal, that I just can't hear as well out of that right side. So I kind of ignored it. I should have had the MRI done in that 1 year and even 2 year marker, but I found every reason in the world not to do that. After a while, then the pandemic hit and everything was kind of thrown into chaos. And so the last thing that I thought about during that stretch was having the MRI done. But now we're getting into a period where it's been years and I really should have updated information. But again, you're getting older, you just kind of get used to it. Very slowly during this period, there were signs that I should have picked up and I did not. And this is one of the things I want to talk about for others, is that when you're first diagnosed, the thing that you absolutely do not want to do is to start making excuses for the changes in your personality. I started having very light vertigo, and it really affected me more like at night when I was driving. The oncoming headlights would cause problems. And I just kind of, again, chalked it up to, well, I'm just getting old. Oh, well, But no, it was actually a sign that this thing was starting to grow again. As the pandemic ended and I started considering, maybe I should have that looked on, again, wasn't a high priority. But the symptoms were now getting really serious. I had just gotten so used to it over such a long period of time that I made every excuse in the world that, just me getting older, so I don't see like I used to see. I don't hear like I used to hear. And what happened was that the size of the growth had grown rather significantly during that period, to where now much more of the nerves were being directly affected within the hearing. And so it became clear at this point, the doctor's consensus was, we need to look into having this addressed. The two options that were presented: surgical and radiation. With radiation, the size matters, because if it's a small tumor, radiation can be pretty darn effective. In my case, I waited too long for that option. If I had gotten my ass in gear initially, I might have had that as a viable option, but by the time I waited, it's like the only real way of dealing with this was surgical. And no guarantee that I wasn't going to have facial paralysis, no guarantee I wasn't going to have hearing problems, no guarantee I wasn't going to have any balance issues, no guarantees. And that's what I want to really talk about now, is that, was it worth it? What can others expect based on what I experienced? There's a lot to know, especially when you're middle-aged.